Political parties from right across the spectrum attended Federated Farmers' annual conference in Rotorua this week. From Don Brash on the right with ACT telling farmers he's sick of hearing of council bureaucrats sticking their nose into farmers' business, to a brave but arguably unpopular Russell Norman on the left with the Greens, saying farmers need to buck up their ideas when it comes to the environment. At least farmers got all sides of the story, and they got to put their questions to politicians too. Labour leader Phil Goff was asked about his party's rationale for wanting to hit farmers with the emissions trading scheme. Goff stuck to his guns.
I'm sorry, I'm not a scientist, but I go with the overwhelming majority worldwide of scientific and governmental opinion, and that is that the climate is getting hotter, that will have a devastating effect in the rise of sea levels, that it's already having an effect in dramatic climatic events, including droughts and floods, and that if we don't do something about that, the economic cost will be horrendous.
Meanwhile, Deputy Prime Minister Bill English talked about that hot topic, foreign investment in New Zealand, or rather, the amazing lack of it. Bill English says as far as the government is aware, the Chinese do not even own a single farm in the country.
We are hard for foreigners to invest in, not far too easy.
Physicist Sir Paul Callaghan addressed the Federation, saying he was sick of the hypocrisy of people when it comes to farming and the environment. He says the Greenpeace activists condemning Indonesia and Fonterra for palm corn kernel forget that New Zealand and every other developed country in the world also exploited their natural resources in order to develop. He also took a swing at the 80 Gill, or as it was formerly known, the Earth Race eco-boat.
And up here is how much fuel is used per passenger kilometre of a vehicle. And along there is how fast it goes. So here's bicycles, they're really good. They don't use much fuel. Electric trains full of people are even better because they don't use much fuel, but they're much faster. But then we come to the bad things like 747s, motor cars, ocean liners. Here's a horrible one, jet skis. We all hate jet skis. But wait a minute, there is a vehicle that uses more gas per passenger kilometre than the jet ski. And you guessed it. That's the Earth Race eco-boat. It is the most gas-hungry, obscene guzzler of fuel that was ever produced by humanity.
It is not known whether Sir Paul has ever seen American tractor pull. Outgoing President Don Nicholson says he is leaving the helm of the Federation while it's in good shape. He told us they have 13,000 full members and a further 4,000 part-time subscribers for retired or ex-farmers. Including the families of these members, and Federated Farmers is speaking on behalf of 27,000 people who work the land in Aotearoa. But Don was a little less forthcoming when it came to the rumours that he would be standing for the ACT Party at this year's general election. While Mr Nicholson said he had had no firm offers, his potential new boss, Don Brash, made it clear he would be a welcome addition to the party.
I can't confirm or deny that, but I'd love to have him as a candidate.
Yeah, right. So you think you'd fit well with the
absolutely.
With your party?
I mean, he's a very well-regarded person in the farming sector. His views are absolutely consistent with those of the ACT Party, and I would be very enthusiastic indeed if he were to be a candidate.
Benedict Collins, Country 99 TV News.
Federated Farmers has broken with a long-held tradition at its annual conference in Rotorua this week. Country 99 TV was at the AGM to find out just what bold move the rural lobby group has made. Reporter Benedict Collins has more.
1983, New Zealand spurned the international norm and took the unusual step of allowing women to vote. That's right, a little farming country in the South Pacific led the way for women's rights. In 1899, Federated Farmers' predecessor, the New Zealand Farmers Union, began officially lobbying the government on behalf of the country's farmers. Fast forward 112 years, and they've voted their first woman onto the national board. I'm sure a lot of people are sitting there at home tonight saying about bloody time. Yep, Mid-Canterbury sheep and beef farmer Jeanette Maxwell is the first lady on the board of Federated Farmers, and she says she's up for the challenge.
First ever, not in quite a long time, but yeah, first, and quite interesting and a whole new ball game for me and a whole team of men. I've been involved in Federated Farmers since 2006, so I'm used to working with the guys, and I work with guys on the farm all the time, so it's nothing new.
She says she hopes she can still spend some time on the farm and that she's a little surprised that it was the meat and fibre sector of Federated Farmers that resulted in the first female board member.
It's interesting. I would, dare I say it, I would have thought that a woman would have come out of dairy section first because meat and fibre is traditionally a much more conservative section, but meat and fibre come to the fore yet again.
But it would be misleading to suggest Federated Farmers is just one big boys club. It has many women in key staff positions, and indeed its chief executive between 2005 and 2008 was Annabelle Young. But in saying that, having its first female board member appears to have gone down well with staff and members.
To have a board member as a woman, I think she's really good, and she's a nice young woman, and she's a good-looking woman.
Yeah.
So that's really good. And she'll make a big impression on the people that she needs to meet and greet. So that's very good.
Benedict Collins, Country 99 TV News.